I started music production a while back. It was quite a while back. My parents never really forced, a musical subject on me when I was younger, because mainly they don't actually have any musical training. So one day I passed by a piano store and saw, oh, they have piano lessons there. Why don't I just go take some? I mean, I'll try it. And I was like 5 at the time, so it's a perfectly good age to start. And I think at that point, much like languages, if you start when you're young, it sort of encodes itself into your brain and becomes almost like an additional language. So that just got stuck in my head. And soon after, I got quickly bored of piano and wanted to move on, and I started playing trumpet. I got first version of GarageBand on my iPad, started playing with that, really started mixing and mastering on that. And then recently, I got a MacBook finally. And then I've just been playing around with Logic ever since, and I think that the more that I explore the program and several other programs like FL Studios, Audacity even, it drives me to create more and learn what I can do. And I think that's really my driving inspiration behind it. Literally everything that goes in, okay, that takes a really ridiculous amount of work and effort. I think just starting out, it starts out as a tune that just plays in my head. Unlike some people who like to actually, start out with an idea or a story behind a song, I just go and I just write, just free flow. Writing music is similar to writing in just English, where you just sit down and it just flows out of you onto the whatever medium you're using, whether it's a platform or a guitar or instrument. I usually start with the piano because that's what I'm used to, originally just growing up playing. But then I branch out from there. I get more complex and put in drums, and maybe, of course, bass comes in towards the end, but what's really important in it is transition effects. There's something to keep the listener hooked on it, keep it going, because of course you have the catchy melody in there, and that's fine and good and all, but if you don't have movement throughout the song, like automation or MIDI velocity variations, I use a reader, but the listener's easily going to get bored, which is just catastrophe, because if nobody wants to listen to the song, what's the point of the song? And I think this is quite easily achieved just through writing what's on my mind. I mean, I grew up having perfect pitch after, all of these lessons and everything. So that definitely aids it in the creation of melodies, but melodies just come to me just randomly out of the blue. And I'm just like, oh. Well, that would be a good idea, and I just write it down. And I think the main focus of writing music, the main important part of it is just actually actively finishing your pieces. Because if you start a piece and it's all good and fun until it just sits there, and you really do have a piece of work that could be something greater, has a lot of potential, but if you don't finish it, it's just going to sit in your computer. So that's probably the most important, it's the last and most important part of creating music. Well, mostly trying to find the balance between overwhelming, how do I want to say this? Just complete and utter confidence in what I've done, and just pride completely, and then just crippling self-doubt. It's just in the middle area of those two things. It's just trying to find the balance of where I want to release something, where it has to be good enough to release, but it can't take up the majority of my time and be actually way down the line great, but take up and eat up everything. And then it also has to, I have a certain standard of quality that I finish, and that increases with each song I release. But definitely trying to find the balance of just getting a song that is actually feels good to release. I think that's definitely the hardest thing. Well, I feel completely excited, just pure and utter ecstasy when I'm finished with a song, finally, after just having worked on it for ages. One of the pieces that I did that actually made it into the middle school choir concert at SAS, the main catchy rhythm and note part of it, towards the end of it, I only figured out about a day before I was going to Cambodia. So I think it was 2 nights before we went to Cambodia, I stayed up about all night, and that wasn't even working. It was just, I'd made the rhythm, and then I got so excited about it, I couldn't sleep. It was just, I had it on my phone, and I just played it over and over and over again, and fell asleep to it because I was just so satisfied with it. And that's happened a couple of times, where I've just been so ridiculously happy with my work, which doesn't happen often. So it's a miracle when it does.